On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Let's get to our guest. He plays for the next 2 weeks, the Narrm Football Club, which is an interesting initiative from the Melbourne Footy Club, who will be known as Narrm, N-A-R-M-M, which is the Indigenous name for Melbourne. And Alex...
No, N-A-A-R-M.
Did I spell that wrong?
Yeah. That's okay. I'm just picking up on that point.
Oh, spell again.
N-A-A-R-M.
Oh,
Narrm.
Make my appropriate changes. Alex Neal-Bullen's been good enough to join us. Alex, welcome.
Good morning, Garry and Tim. How are you?
Yeah, good to talk to you. What's your thoughts on being known as a Narrm player for the next couple of weeks? How's it been communicated to the group?
Yeah, it's a great initiative by the footy club. Matthew Whelan, our Indigenous officer, came to us probably a month or two ago and introduced the program that they were going to run out. And for me to sit back, I had no idea what the word Narrm meant. And for me to, I guess, educate myself and also have conversations as we're doing right now, just to have a greater awareness of the Indigenous community and how that can be portrayed through the AFL, I think it's a great initiative.
I'm going to put you on the spot, but can you educate us in terms of the origins of the word Narrm?
Yeah, it's something that comes from the word Narrm is the Melbourne origin. So the Indigenous people here referred to that as Narrm, and something that, as a footy club, Toby Bedford, Stephen May, our Indigenous players have continued to use that language as they've been educated through it as well. So something I'm really excited about to put on the Narrm jumper for the next 2 weeks.
Alex, you must be excited about putting the jumper on any time at the moment, given the performance of Melbourne. Where do you reckon you're at compared to last season? Have you improved as a group, do you feel?
Yeah, I'd probably say, Tim, the maturity of our group is a lot higher in the way of this time last year. We were 9-0, but we were also riding a wave of how long can this last for. You obviously have that belief in the back of your mind that you want to play in the premiership and all that comes with it. But at the moment, there's a huge belief, but there's a levelness to us about how we go about our footy. And what I mean by that is probably what we do from Monday to Friday. We understand the importance of that and how that reflects us on game day.
Have we lost you?
Today, we understand that our training, what we do in our meetings, the intensity and purpose that we come with, really have a huge emphasis on what we produce on the weekend.
How much of a driver is getting back to the grand final this year and actually performing on the MCG? How much of a driver is that for this group?
Yeah, it's definitely what we rock up every day for. It's almost the unknown with that as well, Tim, in the way of we played our finals last year. All of them are in Perth. So the experience we had on the weekend, say, going back to Perth, rocking up to Optus Stadium, I crave that feeling to have that in Melbourne, around our fans, around our families, the players' kids that weren't able to be there. Like that, they're the experiences that as a kid growing up, watching you boys play footy, you crave that moment on the G, daylight game, red footy, siren goes, and everyone's there, the atmosphere is buzzing. So that's something that I look forward to having an opportunity, hopefully, in the rest of my career.
With Alex Neal-Bullen from the Narrm Football Club, which is spelt, Tim?
It's spelt, well, there's a couple of ways of spelling it.
No, there's not. Narrm, which I suggested it was.
Well, our producer put up Narrm.
Okay, so that's right.
So which is it?
Narrm. Alex, we're talking about, and I'm not sure if you follow footy through the media and other clubs and how closely you follow, but we got a situation where the Bombers are under the pump, where the Blues are under the pump. What's the one thing that, if you were asked for advice in terms of the turnaround of this football club, which was really low, you've been through the tough times. What's the thing you got to get right to enjoy some success?
Yeah, it's. I do follow footy, and I do look at these teams, and I can relate to them a lot. For me, it's about, and this is something that we still draw on, Garry, is when you're challenged as a group and like a sporting organisation, because you're in the public eye, it's about listening to what you need to listen to, but use it as good energy, say, and like the learnings that you get from these tough times, I can guarantee that we still draw on it. So, for example, I'll put it into context for you. We fly over to Perth on the weekend, and although we've had the ultimate success out of the stadium, I still remember, and I will never remember the feeling I had in the 2018 prelim when we lost the West Coast. And that's one of the times I look back and probably, to be honest, like one of the most embarrassing moments of my football career. but I still draw that as a massive learning experience. So now you go over there and you beat West Coast by 70-odd points, and it's something like, yeah, everyone might expect you to win, but I will never forget the feeling of going over there and getting pants the other way around. So it's something that you've got to look at experiences and time through footy as a huge moment to come together and create a culture that is going to be there for sustained winning.
Yeah, we should never underestimate the emotion that goes into this game, Alex. Are we being unreasonable when we look at a team and say they can't defend and the positioning of the players and the team defence, the whole thing, the structural part of it? How long does it take to teach a group of players that so that it actually sticks?
It's probably something as a group. So depending on the individuals, like I can only talk about the Melbourne Footy Club because that's where I do my craft. But it's something that you probably get a game plan. It might take a year or two to actually for the team to come together and let that sink in. And then there's probably another year there where you're training it and making sure that everyone is on the same page. And we're at a level now that we can focus on what we do very well defensively, and that sets our game up. And then other players can come into our system. I'll use Jake Bowie as an example, and he can grasp what defence means to this footy club. And then from there, you get individuals that don't have to go through that full 3-year period of learning and understanding what it takes.
So we underestimate it, do we? Say, us commentators, people who are observing the game, how long it actually takes for players for this to become second nature to the way they play?
Yeah, everyone's got an element of competitiveness, and I know you guys are experts in your area, but for the footy club that I play for, it's something that it took time, and I think wherever every footy club is at, it's not just going to happen over a course of 5 weeks. You might get a great draft pick, or you might get a traded player in that's got a lot of talent, but yeah, don't underestimate how long it does take for a team to come together and play with that cohesion.
Another issue that I'm talking about us older players sort of struggle with at times is the concept of players enjoying themselves and being able to smile through adversity, play a game of footy, compete hard, but at the end catch up with players whatever, laugh. And how do you explain that, and how do you sort of put a template down? We used to run out the race, and if anyone didn't have anything but breathing fire, you'd think that you weren't on. Nowadays we see them running down and laughing, and I accept all of that, but there are some that are still challenged by all that. So how do you best explain that?
Yeah, I think it's the AFL industry now. You've got a group of 800 individuals that are all very different, and I guess for me, it's understanding what makes me tick. And for that, I'm probably a bit like you guys in the way of the 2 hours on the weekend. Footy is everything. I'm not chatting to my teammate. I'm not engaging with them unless it's for the spirit of the game. It's something that, though, through times, like even on the halfback, Caleb Daniel, who plays for the Western Bulldogs, he's one of my close mates back from Adelaide. And throughout the grand final, we're very similar. Like, we shake hands at the start, but then it's game on. And it's almost like you're playing him as another opponent, and it's not till the siren goes where you engage. So, yeah, everyone is very different. It's something that people know what makes them tick, and if it's them having a chat throughout the game, go for it.
Alex, what is it that you enjoy most about the game right now as a player?
Well, I will never take winning for granted, Tim. That's something that I'll never forget, the feeling of what it feels like to be on that other end of a result. But probably at the moment, to be honest, is the contested game. On the weekend, there are a lot of long contests, and I found myself reminding myself this is why I love the game. Being in the contest where the ball's bobbling around, you can lay a tackle or two, and then it gets held up and it's another repeat stoppage. So that's something that I really love, and it's something that as a junior, when we were, I think it was maybe under 11s where we could start tackling, it made me realise this is why I love the game of AFL.
Hey, Alex, you're winning a lot of fans as we speak. Everyone's enjoying the way that you're being able to articulate what's sort of important to you. Not taking winning for granted resonates, when I hear you say that as a Melbourne supporter. So the second year in a row that it's a 9-zip start. You've got, I think, a streak of 16 wins. People talk about the inevitability of a loss, which, I suspect will come at some stage. How do you attack that, and what's your mindset around that?
Yeah, every time I hear that term, the 16 wins, I kind of don't believe it in a way, because we had a loss to Carlton in the start of the season. So that for me is another opportunity for the club to like realign itself, and I feel like we did a really good job of that. And at the time, internally, we reviewed that game, but now internally we don't necessarily refer to the 16-game winning streak. It's more about how does the game look when Melbourne are playing, and we want to make sure that when you guys are commentating, you understand exactly what we're bringing. And there'll be times where we can tear a game apart. There'll be times where we've been challenged, and every game this year we have been challenged. But it's about coming together and almost drawing on those experiences throughout the last 4 or 5 years that we've had together, good and bad, to make sure we come out on top. And you probably saw that on Sunday afternoon.
Alex, I'll ask you this question. I know you would have seen Luke Parker mocking Dylan Shield, did you, over the weekend?
Yep.
Okay. Would you expect a response? If that was to happen against the Sydney Swans, would you expect a response from your teammates and those around you?
Yeah, I would expect if that, say, happened to Angus Brayshaw, I would expect his next action to be very good. But I wouldn't necessarily engage in any ruffle or scruffle. It's more of a let your footy do the talking.
So I think that's a good answer too, and everyone's differently. And I look at the group, and it's a very competitive group, and it gets back to the Viney mantra back when he was working, and the sorts of players that he wanted to have at this footy club, and then the sorts of players that the recruiters went out and identified, and it's the competitors. The humility amongst the group too, although I've been really impressed with, and maybe I've got my Melbourne coloured glasses on. People can tell me differently, but is that something that you guys are cognizant of? Yeah,
definitely. It's something that as a Melbourne person, say, or a Narrm person, I should say, at the moment, it's you look around the group and you've got people from, I guess, all over Australia that have come together, and we're all coming together for this common purpose, and that's winning a premiership. And a lot of us have already done that, but you get this sense, because we're so competitive and we understand where we've all come from, you want to do it again and again. So as soon as we take the foot off the pedal, Gary, that's an opportunity for teams to come at us, and it's something to be a great organisation, sporting organisation. I'm a huge believer in what you do during the week. Monday to Friday is the end product of how you perform on the weekend.
Adam Uze, would you go into bat for him? Is he a coach ready to go?
Yeah, Uze is, yes. I really enjoy what Uze brings to the table, but he's well supported by Greg Stafford, Troy Chaplin as well. So there's a lot of good people at our footy club.
And Alex, just one final question. Outside of football, what are you doing?
I'll give you as honest answers as I can. I currently study uni. I've just bought a 1979 Millard caravan that I'm doing up in the backyard.
Really? Now you've got our interest going. What is it about a 1979 Millard caravan that's just piqued your interest?
I saw it a couple of blocks away, and just thought I'd love a little project to jump in the car with the dog and the partner and go away for a weekend.
With annex or without annex?
An annex that you can put on, but right now it's just the caravan.
Are you going to take it around the country? Is that what you're going to do, around Australia?
Nah, I think I'll stay local for now, and once I get my confidence up, Tim, I'll let you know. I might get some tips off you.
Can you back it? Can you back the caravan?
My old man came over Easter and taught me, so I'm learning quickly, Gary.
And what are you studying at uni?
Bachelor of Business and Sports Management.
Well, you've got a whole legion of fans from the interview we've done with you this morning. Our messaging coming through is any indication you've impressed a lot of people, Alex. So great to have you on. We really appreciate you giving us some time, and good luck for the rest of the year.
Thanks, Garry. Tim, have a good morning.